Hello guys, so today I'm going to show you how to install the Pi node on your computer. In order to do that, first you need to open up any browser and go to node.minepi.com. From there, you're able to go to the menu that's called Pi node, and then you can click on the download node button. It takes you to another page, and then click on the Windows and save the file there. Wait for it to finish downloading. Okay, just a few more seconds here. It's running a security scan. Okay, so just gonna click view downloads. Yeah, that's completed. So you can whether click on there or you can just navigate to your file explorer and go to your download folder and find the app from there. So let's go to file explorer, download folder. File is downloaded, so let's click on it and run it to install it. Okay, we'll give it a few seconds. So guys, you gotta make sure that you have the Pi network app installed on your phone before you're able to install the Pi node. Alright. So while that's loading on your phone, you need to open up the Pi network and go to the menu and select you need to select the node, and then when you run the app on your computer, it gives you a code. You need to enter that code on your phone app in order to authorize the software to load on your computer. So now that I entered it, you'll see I get logged into the system here. You click on the node on the app, and then here you go to the installation instructions. So first we need to install the Docker, so you click on download Docker, and the reason I'm clicking on that one is because I run in the Windows 10 Pro. So from the website you click download Docker, again you get redirected to the Docker hub, and let's see in here, if you scroll down on the page, you see a stable version and also an edge version. So I'm just gonna download the stable version. Again, you click on save and you start downloading the installation file. So again, we'll just give it a few minutes. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm gonna see if I can change this to fast forward the screen. There you go. Windows is running the scan on the downloaded file, so we'll give it a few more seconds to finish running the security scan. Again, you can go to your file explorer and the downloaded file should be there, and we can run it from there. Okay, there you go. So the download is finished. Click open folder, it takes us to the download folder, and there you go. This is the installation file, Docker desktop installer. We can double click on it and let the installer to install Docker. So guys, if you install if your Windows operating system is not a Windows 10 Pro or Enterprise, you need to use the toolbox version of the Docker. Here we try to install it. You gotta make sure you don't check the checkbox that it says running the Docker on a Windows container. You don't need to do that. If you do that, you're gonna have trouble later on during the process. So make sure you just use the Linux container unless you're installing the Docker on Azure VMs, which at that point you need to install it on a Windows container to make it compatible with your Azure VMs. Okay, so this part of it gonna take a while to install Docker desktop. So we're gonna give it a few seconds, and then I'm gonna fast forward the video, save some time here. So first it's gonna try to unpack the file, and then after that it's gonna try to install the software. Okay, now the unpacking is finished and it's trying to install it. Okay, after the installation is complete, we need to close and restart the computer. It has to be reboot. Make sure you reboot your computer. The one thing that we have to remember is after you install the Docker and you reboot both Pi Network Node and the Docker, there you go, I've rebooted the machine here and you see that the Docker desktop is starting. You gotta make sure that they're both on the startup. So Pi Node runs faster, Pi Node service runs faster than Docker. So you gotta make sure after your Pi Node turns on, you gotta make sure and wait for the Docker also to run. There you go. If we open it up, you'll see that the Docker is installed, daemon is running. Okay, now we get to the point that we have to open up ports on our router. So I'm just gonna give it a test before I open up everything and click check now to see if, if I get lucky and it's opened up and it can get forwarded, but it doesn't seem like it's downloading the port listener. So let's go to type in cmd command prompt. The other thing you can do, instead of typing cmd, you can search for run and then basically type cmd in the run and hit OK. That's another way of loading the command prompt. So when we load it, we can run an ipconfig to get our IP address and the gateway for our router. So here you go, my gateway is 192.168.2.1. So basically that's my router. I'm gonna open up a browser here, Internet Explorer, and then I'm gonna try to navigate there. Now, I'm using a router that is from my internet provider called Bell. So your router screen might be different than mine, depends on which provider you use. But normally it's the same concept in most of the routers. You should look for a option that is called port forwarding. So let's see where mine is at. So in my router, the port forwarding is sitting under a menu called Advanced Tools and Settings. So for me, I'm just gonna go there. Here we go. It's asking me for my admin password for the router. Okay, so on the middle of the screen to the left, you'll see the port forwarding option. I'm gonna go to that menu. So before I've tried to add some ports previously here, but that was for my other computer. So it wouldn't work for this machine because it's trying to route it to a different computer. The ports are 31400 to 31409. So I'm just gonna create a new rule here. So my internal port start is 31400 and my external start port is 31400 to 31409, and then the end port automatically gets populated in my case for the internal port. Now, so basically we gotta route these ports to a IP address. So I'm gonna give this rule a name. It can be anything. Local IP address. My router gives me option to pick a computer name or an IP address. So in here, you'll see my IP address is 192.168.2.1. 150. So I can whether enter that IP address at the bottom in my router screen, or I can just type in my computer name. So I run a system info in command prompt to get my computer name. You scroll up and then you'll see that my computer name is desktop hyphen 3 starts with. So in the list, I'll look for that one. None of these. These are all the machines that are connected to my router. So okay, so I'll see the desktop one. I'll select the computer name. I'm not able to create it because there's a duplicate port forwarding. I'm gonna delete the other rule and try to save this again. So it should now work. So we'll save this and we give it a shot again. All right, there you go. All right, just gonna wait for the router to save the changes here. So guys, you gotta make sure that since your router runs DHCP, if you give the router IP address of your machine, after a while, if the IP address changes and you get a new one, you might have problem with your port forwarding. So you gotta make sure the IP address you set on your computer is a static IP address out of the range of the DHCP of the modem. All right, so we'll give it a shot again. So I don't think it's still gonna work because I haven't added the firewall rules. So let's see. Hopefully download. There you go. It downloaded the port listener. UAC pop. The firewall asked me for allowing the app to connect to the network. It connects. Okay, so now from external, my machine cannot be pinged even though we have the ports open. Port forwarding enabled. All right, so it's probably the firewall because my Windows firewall is enabled. It's not allowing it to connect to my machine. So one way is to just open up the entire firewall and turn it off. So I'm just gonna add a rule instead of just opening my firewall for everything. So in the advanced option, you have the inbound and outbound rule. So I'm gonna, in the inbound rules, I'm gonna select inbound and then create a new rule there. Okay, so now from the right menu, there's a new rule. I'm just gonna give it a few seconds to load. Okay, so now I'm gonna select ports. Next, I'm gonna put the range of the ports 31400 hyphen 31409. So that basically is the range. It's gonna include 31, 401, 402, 403 all the way to 409. I'm gonna say allow all the connection, allow all the domains, and give it a name just so I know why I created that rule. So I'm just gonna call this Pi node inbound, finish it up. Now I'm gonna do the same thing for outbound. So basically all it means is inbound request that's coming to your machine, and outbound is the information going out of your machine, the intranet. So we do the same thing, allow connections, domain private, and we give it a name. We call it Pi node outbound. And there you go, that should do it. Finish it up, exit out. And there you go. Let's do a check and we should be good to go. There you go. All right, we're gonna continue, and that's it, guys.